Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 discussion videos. Today we're here to talk all about the brand new episode, Two Brothers, and we actually achieved our like goal last week, so here is your gold star. If you would like to achieve another gold star next week, though, I'm going to need to see yet another 150 likes on this week's video. Before next week comes out so that you can actually get yourself your next gold star. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into it now. Fair warning, I am going to be all over the friggin' place this week, and I apologize, but my notes are kind of scattered like crazy, so I'm going to be going through as best I can and talking about the major plot points and stuff like that. Also, fun fact, we're actually recording this live on the site that starts with the T, so that's just a fun fact. This episode is like the big one. When I was getting ready to stream today, there was a lot of people telling me, "Oh, dude, you have to react to this. Like, you have to make it a reaction." So I was very curious about like why that is, and I managed to kind of suss out why in the first little bit. It's definitely an action-packed episode, and I was not anticipating just how much stuff happens. Like we get a lot of like big character deaths. We get a lot of big reveals. It is admittedly very confusing. There's a lot of stuff that happens that I wasn't really anticipating, but you know, we'll take it piece by piece. I think I'll start by maybe zeroing in on Galliard, because I feel like Galliard as a character, I usually railed against pretty hard. Like, I'm not a big Galliard guy. Not exactly my favorite character. I didn't like the way that he spoke to Reiner. I didn't really like his character that much. He just kind of was an ass. But he does, you have to give that man credit. He goes out like an absolute unit. Like when Galliard dies this week, he goes out like a warrior. Like, he embraces his death wholeheartedly and tells Reiner, like, looks like I was always the better one between the two of us. Which, not true. Not true. Reiner actually puts in work. Galliard gets smacked away like a fly every 5 seconds. But Galliard, you know, like, in the beginning of the episode, I'm like, my first note in my notes is literally just Galliard being as useless as ever. Because, like, Galliard, the only time I can think of where Galliard did a thing was when he acted as a nutcracker for Eren. Like, that's the one thing I could think of that Galliard did, which is part of the reason why I thought his ending line of, like, looks like I was always the better between the two of us is like, what are you talking about? It's like, Galliard, shut up, right? But, like, again, I have to give him credit because he does go out like a boss. And when he finds out what happened, like, when he finds out, like, when him and Reiner, like, kind of, like, make contact, Galliard sees his brother's perspective and sees him telling, Galliard sees his brother telling Reiner that he talked bad about Galliard on purpose so that Galliard wouldn't become a Titan. Like, he didn't want to push that onto his brother. And that really sort of shook Galliard. And it's the reason why, like, when he wakes up, he can't really regenerate as quickly as he used to be able to. So at some point, somebody was going to get him, right? So Galliard, seeing that Falco got turned, and we'll talk about Falco in a sec, makes the ultimate sacrifice play, and Galliard super dies. Like, there's another character we'll talk about in a bit that I was like, maybe they're okay. They seem pretty friggin' dead, but, like, Galliard is, like, super dead. Like, we see Falco turn him into, like, Falco eats that dude like he's eating Doritos in the middle of, like, playing Halo, right? All he's missing is a Mountain Dew. Like, Galliard is done. And, like, yeah, I suppose, like, a moment of silence for Galliard. It's not the saddest Titan death of them all. I still think Sasha's is the one that hit me the hardest. But, like, Galliard, like, is kind of sad, I guess. It's not sad. I'm gonna be honest, it's not sad. But it's cool. It was a cool death, right? Like, it was cool. The way Galliard goes out is cool. And I will say it actually sort of redeems him in my eyes. Like, the way that he goes out is such boss status that I can't help but be really impressed by it. And I suppose that does lead us nicely into talking about the whole Falco thing. So, yeah, Falco's a Titan. And his Titan was creepy looking. He has like the long neck. He looks like a giraffe. Like just very strange looking. But Falco and Colt show up. And I did say last week that my assumption was that Falco and Colt would be taking center stage next week. Not what happens. It actually is about Eren and Zeke. But Falco and Colt have a huge moment in that episode where just before Zeke realizes, like, okay, I have to call the Titans. And he's about to let out a big, like he's about to let out a big yell, right? Instead, Falco and Colt arrive on the scene, and they're like, "Wait!" Like Colt does his best to get Zeke's attention, and he does. And Colt, I'm not gonna lie, if Colt is actually dead, and he looks super dead, right? Because like when Gabi sees him, he's like burnt to shit, because we know that the Titans give off a lot of heat when they turn. So like he's like, I'm like 95% positive that Colt is like dead, right? And I mean like dead, like that dude's not getting back up. That really makes me hella sad, because Colt is like a legitimately nice, sweet character for most of the show. Even though he's on like, you know, Marley's side, we realize that, again, the big point of Titan is that there's not really like good and bad, there's just sides, right? And Colt was one of those characters that I actually really like sympathized with, and I wanted to see him make it to the end of the show, and they killed him anyway, because Zeke is a bastard. That's two good boys that Zeke has taken from me. One is my husbando and the other was my boy, and I'm not gonna lie, I need Levi to get the hell back up and take this dude out. But Colt, like, Colt to death hurt. I'm not gonna lie, Colt to death really hurt me. Like the way that Gabi sees him, and there's like he's like charred, you know, like he just looks like he literally looks like he was like burned alive, right? And it's like, goddamn, right? Like, and he goes out like hugging his brother, not wanting to let Falco go, right? And he tells him like, it's gonna be okay, Falco, it's all gonna be okay. He goes out hugging his brother, trying to reassure him, as he knows that when, like, knowing full well that when Falco turns, he's gonna die. And Colt takes it anyway. And it's like Zeke says, that Zeke, as a brother, knows what it is that Colt is going through and understands their plight as brothers, but can't turn his back on Eren now. So he activates, you know, he screams and activates all the Titans. And it's not just Falco either. Like, Pixis is Titanized, Nile is Titanized. Like, it's pretty much like most of the squad, save like the scouts. The scouts and the people from Marley are the only people left who are still human. Everybody else is Titanized. And it was rough. Like I said, I feel like Colt is probably the most underrated character on the show. I feel like Colt probably could have done a lot more as a character, but I think Isayama taking Colt out of the story now makes sense for Falco's character, because when Falco comes to, he's going to be mortified, right? And it's going to put Falco on like a new character arc. But yeah, Colt dying, I'm not gonna lie, it's just more reason for me to be like, look, Zeke, you're mad entertaining. Like, Zeke is super entertaining, but this boy's gotta die. Like, Zeke's gotta go. He's gotta go. But you know who else has gotta go, according to Gabi? Fucking Eren. Gabi gets another one. Gabi's like, I'm just gonna pick off all the scouts. I'm just gonna pick off all your faves, and I'm gonna laugh while I do it. Right after I literally said, like, Gabi, you're starting to redeem yourself. Pow! I was like, Gabi, goddammit. Like, Gabi. This is not a F Gabi moment. Like, this is not me saying, like, Gabi's bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty hype. Like, Gabi shooting Eren's head off was super hype. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, we were watching it, right? Because again, I'm doing this live now. Most of the I'm gonna be like making content live most days now. We were watching it together, and we all were like, what the fuck? Because, like, that is a crazy moment, right? Like, Eren's head, like, spinning around like a Beyblade was really friggin' nuts. And, like, the fact that Zeke still catches it anyway. As soon as I saw that Zeke caught it, I'm like, that's gonna be enough for them to make contact. Like, because I watched Zeke explode into pieces, right? Like, him and Levi exploded, right? And Zeke came back. So Eren getting shot in the neck and his head spinning like a Beyblade. To quote Thanos, you should have gone for the head. Because, like, pretty sure I'm pretty sure he's gonna be okay. Even though, like, he's a head, but, like, still, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be okay. And, like, that shot of, like, Zeke screaming as he holds Eren's head. Like, because Zeke, I think, genuinely does love and care about Eren. He feels bad for Eren because Eren was, like, essentially manipulated by Grisha. And Zeke knows the pain that Grisha can inflict on people. Because Grisha, I'm gonna be honest, worst dad in anime. He's not maybe the worst, but he's absolutely on that list, right? Grisha's like a bad dude. I've seen people try to defend that man, and no, right? Like, I think Grisha's like one of the worst characters in the show. And I don't mean that in terms of writing. I mean, like, the most, you know what I mean? Like, most despicable characters in the show. Like, Grisha's definitely one of them. So I get where Zeke's coming from. But no, right? Because Zeke, like, genuinely feels like a kinship with Eren that he doesn't really feel with anyone else, right? Eren's his brother, right? And he wants to protect Eren from the world and from the teachings of Grisha. He wants to show him that there's a better path. Mind you, and we'll get to the paths, all right. But mind you, he's still Zeke. Right, so he still has this sort of, like, in the back of his mind, he has, like, plans upon plans. It's still Zeke, you know? But that does lead us nicely into talking about the big twist. So there is a huge twist reveal towards the end of the episode that I genuinely didn't see coming. And that is the fact that, well, I guess there's two, right? So there's two big twists, right? Eren seemingly dies, and when he wakes up, he's in the paths. Now, the paths still confuse the shit out of me, and I'm gonna level with you. And I can't wait for the flood of comments being like, oh, like, you're dumb, you're an idiot. But, like, because, again, anytime I'm like, oh, I didn't understand that, everyone's like, you're an idiot, how could you not understand? What do you mean you don't understand? Like, every time. But no, you're super cool, by the way, with your anime profile picture. But, sorry. But, like, yeah, unless, like, if you're going to be nice about it, I would love an explanation that doesn't spoil it. But for right now, I'm just gonna speculate on what I think is going on. Yeah, just don't be an ass if you want to explain the paths without spoiling it. Like, you can totally explain it without if you can do it so without spoiling. Just don't be an ass is what I'm asking. But, like, so Eren arrives at the paths, and Zeke, I believe, refers to it as, like, the origin point of, like, all, like, paths. So I assume, like, all timelines converge here in this one area that is the paths, is what I assume is going on. So I'm like, okay, now we're getting like very metaphysical, and everything's, I coughed in the middle of the word metaphysical. We're getting very metaphysical, and I'm like, I have no idea what the hell's going on. But the big twist is that when Zeke's like, you have the power now, Eren, like you have to tell her to stop, to not allow Eldians to have offspring. We can worry about the rumbling later. That's the main priority. And Eren's like, yeah, about that. Twist! I'm not actually on Team Zeke. And I was like, yeah, I called it! Like, I was like, so proud. I was like, I knew it. I knew this. Right? Because I was like, Eren's a bad dude. And I've been saying from the jump that I'm like, Eren's the type of character where I feel like, knowing him, if he could be the villain that the world needs, he will play that villain if it means actually helping his friends and getting a good outcome. He's willing to fall on the sword to protect his friends, right? So Eren being like, I was never on your team. Like, I just told you what I knew that you wanted me to say. I told you what you needed to hear, right? And Zeke's like, no, Eren. He's like, yeah, no, anyway, power, please, right? Ask for the power. And then, no, it turns out Zeke, like, breaks the fake chains that he had on him. And he's like, oh, Eren, I am so disappointed. And it's like, oh, you thought Eren played Zeke, but no, Zeke knew that Eren was playing him, so he played him back. It was a double play. It was a triple cross. Crisscross. It was crazy. Like, I was genuinely, like, freaking the hell out, because I'm like, what does this mean? What does it mean? I was losing my mind. Genuinely, crazy. Like, genuinely crazy moment. And, like, so to me, I'm like, okay, so if Zeke is the one in control, because Zeke, so again, I'm a little confused on, like, I'm a little confused on what the paths are. I'm a little confused on what the freak frack paddywag everybody was talking about, right? Like, I have no idea what Eren and Zeke were talking about, where they're like, I have the paths because I am this thing, and then this thing does this thing, and that thing does that thing, and I'm like, oh, of course! What? I totally confused. So that's a thing, so I was very confused by that. But from what I'm understanding is that Zeke is saying, because I have royal blood, and I was not on the island, so I didn't get, like, hypnotized like the rest of you guys, I can actually tell Ymir what to do. So Ymir is just, like, she has no thoughts and feelings of her own, which is very sad, by the way. But Zeke essentially, like, outplayed Eren, and then they have a electric headbutt, and I don't know if that's the rumbling starting, or that it, like, judging by the PV, that might be them going into Eren's memories. I don't totally understand what's going on, and I don't super understand, like, why Zeke has the power and not Eren, or why Eren was just a key and not the thing. I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like, oh, of course I know what happened. I don't. I just know it was cool. I literally just know it was cool, and that was about it. Other than that, I kind of don't have a whole lot to say, because I was mostly just shocked by everything that was happening. It was a crazy episode, and I cannot wait to see more. I will say, next week seems like it's going to be very, like, trip down memory lane, so it's going to be kind of nostalgic, maybe. That's my guess. I'm excited to see what they do with it, but until then, outro. And there you have it, everybody. That is gonna wrap it up for today's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and set notifications to all. Let all of AnyTube know that you are here, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and check out our Discord so that you can actually be notified when new videos go up, and of course, you'll also be notified when we're streaming over on the other website that starts with a D. On top of being the best way to get notified for new videos, it's also a good place to discuss with fellow anime fans and stuff like that. So if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and join us over on the Discord, link down in the description. Also linked to the description is our Patreon page, and that, along with the join button right beside the sub button, are great ways to help keep this channel afloat. You will find our Patreon page for as little as $1. You can help keep this channel running. And of course, a big thank you I have to give to our masters of masters, the true legends, Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorans, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trapmaster, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for being so freaking cool. I really love and appreciate all of you guys for your tremendous support of this channel, and if you too would like to have your name shouted out at the end of videos, once again, go check out that Patreon link in the description, or hit the join button right beside the sub button. Either way helps out a ton, and that's it for me. So, until next time, clean your room. Just trust me, a clean room is a clean mind. Maybe do some Tai Chi. You know, drink lots of water and brush your teeth, and yeah, have a good day. Bye.